Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Soulful Josh and we're here at South Dade Kia to film this 2025 Kia Soul Soulmate edition for y'all. With that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to them. Make sure to go ahead and contact Angel V if you're interested in purchasing any Kia or any pre-owned Kia. So underneath the hood lies the company's 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder producing 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque straight through a CVT transmission to only the front wheels. And yes, even though this vehicle is around $30,000, we do get hood struts for this model, which is honestly amazing because cars like a Toyota 4Runner doesn't even get one at all. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Kia Soul right over here. So this is the 2025 Kia Soul Soulmate edition. So this is basically, in essence, the last edition or the last model year of the Kia Soul. Yes, the Kia Soul is going away, and I wanted to do one video of the Kia Soul. Let's talk about some of the things that Kia has done for this edition. So up at the front, we get the same exact grille design for this EX Soulmate edition. So we're gonna have that nice silver finish around the grille housing with the gloss black design, and then over here we do have that nice little glass that has the Kia badging right there and the same exact little dots or rectangles around that whole entire frame. Over here off to the side, we do have halogen style headlights with your turn signal also finished in a bulb type dispense. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't put the LED lighting in here, but nonetheless, this is a really good headlight unit. I think it looks very aggressive, very bold in your face. I mean, you know it's a Kia Soul when you look at it with its boxy proportions. Now over here off to the side, for this version, we do get this two-tone gunmetal gray with machine finish. These are the 18-inch wheel sports that are on this model, and they look very nice. I like the way that Kia has designed these special wheels for this model, and it's also wrapped around a Hancock tires. Now getting off to the side, as you see on the lower portion, we actually have a different design for the door section. So we're gonna have a body cladding section right here with some silver accents across the bottom, and then as overall profile, you could tell that it is a very small boxy CUV. And then up here at the top, we do have the dual tone style finish. So we're gonna have a white on the bottom with a gloss black across the top, and it is a metallic flake design for this model. Getting to the back, as you see, we do have halogen style finish for the tail lights as well, your turn signal and your reverse lights, and in the back glass. So you see large amount of real estate for the rear glass, so you could see easily out of this model. And since it's boxy, it's actually a lot better than compared to some of the CUVs that are out there. We got the Kia badging right here, Soul badge, and then right there you'll also find your rear camera right there, and then we have the release for the tailgate. So this is a non-power tailgate, which is quite fine for the size of this vehicle. We do have a tonneau cover that comes standard for this, which is honestly surprising because most vehicles in this class or class above doesn't even come with this standard. Anyways, there's even some cars that cost like $70,000 that don't even come with the standard. So think about that for a second. But overall space in here is very large. I think you get around 24 cubic feet of overall cargo space back here. And you can fold the rear seats right over here to give you around 62 cubic feet of space, which is honestly enough for the size of this vehicle, and it actually kind of surpasses a little bit of some vehicles in an upper class that compete. Harmon Kardon speaker system right here with the subwoofer. You also have another speaker there, and if we take my backpack out of here, we can actually lower this section to give us more height in the cargo space area. So there's more height. Take off the tonneau cover and you have a large amount of overall space, which is very impressive. I really love that Kia continues to offer vehicles that have like loading floors that can go even lower than what it's shown. And even then, underneath here, we find a spare tire, which is also a very rare thing nowadays. Over here, 12-volt outlet. We have halogen lights as well for the back, but honestly, that's all she wrote back here. Let's go ahead and get into the back. All right, getting into the rear. Opening up the door, it's a nice hefty door. It's not something that's made out of tin can, which is actually really nice to see. We do have a hard plastic up at the top here. We also have this geometric design with the gunmetal gray that we saw on the wheels over here, which looks very nice. Nice door handle, window switch gear. You have a nice holder right here to go ahead and close the door. Tweeter bill right here for your speaker system, and another speaker down here. We also have an area to put some large bottled waters and soft padding here with the brown color for the stitching. Now, as you see, we have overall amount of space when the seats are folded down. It's actually really good. You can put things in here easily, and folding it up is very simple. Now, overall, when it comes to like getting into this space right here, you can easily add a baby seat and not have to worry about like the door not being fully open. And it doesn't open at a 90-degree angle, but it's actually very, very well to put a baby seat in the back over here. Now, with the seat, we have the half leatherette and we have the half cloth over here. So breathability down the middle is going to be great. We have the leatherette around the side with the same exact brown stitching. Let's go ahead and get into the interior. Close the door. Solid sounding door, which is very impressive for the price range that this vehicle currently is in. And being 5'10", I have a lot of leg room left, even though the seat is kind of retracted a little bit back because I'm a taller person, and it feels great back here headroom wise, since we don't have the sunroof, because with this option, since you get the dual tone exterior roof, it actually eliminates the sunroof, and that's for every single Kia Soul that has the dual tone exterior roof color. I don't know why they do it, but they do. We have a dome light over here that is finished in halogen, but we have tons of overall headroom space. So sitting up tall, I have about 4 inches overall headroom space. So somebody who's like 6'1" can fit back here comfortably. And honestly, these seats feel very, very nice, especially for the rear. Usually what happens is car companies, when they create seats for the front row area, and it's absolutely comfortable, it is great, it doesn't transition to the back. And honestly, Kia has done a great job with these rear seats. Nice and plush. They have a lot of play in them. We have 2 USB Type-Cs down there, so you can go ahead and charge your iPads or any other devices. And then we have a mat pocket over here, finished in that same exact leatherette style finish. Hiring up the seat here, we open up this middle section. We have 2 large cup holders and a nice soft padding area for the middle armrest, which is honestly amazing. But this is a really great rear seat section, and you kind of sit a little bit higher from the front row seats, so it's kind of like stadium seats, so you see more outward, but it's not that bad. It's actually very well done. All right, so getting to the front section, just want to mention this is a gloss black housing for the mirror, but you also have your blind spot detection because this does come with a lot of safety sense. Now, it even does come with proximity sensors from the front door handles, which is honestly amazing. You can open and unlock it from there. You also have a nice soft padding. The door has a nice heft to it. It's not that tin can that many other cars have around this price range. No, it is actually a very solid door. Soft padding across the top, a geometric design. We have a nice door handle release finished in silver. We also have some soft padding here, and this area right here is finished in the same soft padding that we get on the top portion. Window switch gear is going to be down here, as well as your mirror control. And then we have these speakers right here, the tweeter, as well as the Harmon Kardon speaker grill. Now over here, actually there is some ambient lighting that goes across here. I'm actually going to show you. We're going to go downstairs into a darker setting for the lighting, and you can actually see that this does have a pulse-like design that has the Kia Soul badging right there, and it will have like specific themes that we'll talk more when we get into the cabin space. Large cup holder right here to go ahead and put some large drinks, and then we also have some mat pockets right there. These seats are going to be power operated for the driver, but it's going to be manually operated for the passenger. So we do have tilt and hiring as well. We also have lumbar control 2-way, so forward and back. Soft padding across the headrest, and then down here in the middle we do have that same exact cloth material as well. Getting into the interior, very solid sounding door. And then over here, we are greeted with 2 screens. So on the right, we have a 10.25-inch touchscreen display, and in the middle, we have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. So right down there, you have your gauges. It shows your RPM, it shows your miles per hour on one side. Your fuel gauge is going to be in the bottom left, and then your temperature for your engine is going to be on the bottom right. When you have it in different drive modes, it does switch the colors to it. So you have sport and normal. Those are the only two drive modes for this vehicle, which is quite understandable. We have a nice air vent on either end of the door section with another tweeter bill right there for the speaker system. And it just looks really nice in here. I really like the screen as well. It's very snappy and responsive. It does come with the maps, which a lot of cars in the competition space, once again, I'm reiterating this, does not even have that as an option. You have to use wireless Apple CarPlay or CarPlay in general, which is ridiculous. I mean, sometimes it's always nice to have maps just in case if you have low signal from your phone. Over here, we do have physical buttons for your climate control. So we're gonna have your dual zone climate control, so it can be controlled from either end. We have all these other physical buttons for the fan speed. You can go ahead and increase it and lower it. We also have emergency parking brake right there. When's the last time you saw one of those? Two large cup holders. An area right here has a large bin section right there as well, which looks very nice. And then you have your shift gear right here. So putting it into reverse, as you see, it does have trajectory. So whenever you turn the wheel, it does come up like that, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and see if it does have some other display settings. It actually doesn't have a fisheye lens version, but that's quite all right. Putting it into park, very straightforward. Heated seats for either or. Engine start stop button right there. 12-volt outlet down the middle, as well as the USB and USB Type-C with wireless charging pad right there. So you can easily put your wireless phone that has the wireless charging capabilities. We also find a speaker grill right down the middle, which comes specifically with the Soulmate Edition version. So just keep that in mind when it comes to this vehicle or purchasing the EX version with that edition. It does come with a speaker grill right here. So it's a little bit more bassy in here. Opening up the glove compartment, as you see, it is damped but not lined with felt in here, and it's a very large bin section. Even though there is a lot of stuff in there, it actually didn't come crashing down, which is quite impressive. Once again, a lot of the competition doesn't even offer that. But sitting in here at 5'10", headroom wise, like I said, in the rear it was about like 4 inches. Up here in the front, I have roughly around 5 inches, because of the way that the roof line is kind of tapering off at the back. Tons of overall headroom space, and it feels good seeing out the windows on either side because they're so large. They have a lot of real estate. Very well done, Kia. Let's go downstairs and actually let me show you how it looks when it comes to the speaker grills. All right, so now that we're down here, let's go ahead and talk about some of the things. The gauge clusters look really good with that purple outline, and then when you put it into sport, it has like a nice reddish pink design to it. But that's not the main thing. Sound mood lamp, which is something unique to the Soulmate edition. You have different mood color themes right here. So depending on the radio station, what kind of song you're listening to and stuff, it will change the beat of it on these little sections right here. As you can see, it kind of glows right there. You could change it to different ones, like for example that one, as you see, lights will shut off and turn on. Traveling, which would be a little bit different, more of like a side road kind of look with some farmlands. We also have the cafe mode, which is going to have more of like a nice mood like setting for it. And then we have Midnight City, so it's going to be like light show, glow from a city that has a lot of light fixtures. And then we also have different glow options. So we have Dream Purple, Violet Cloud, Orange Light, Golden Insight, and then we also have Refreshing Sea as well as Super Red. Now, Music Plus will just change it to a different thing whenever you have it on the music portion when you are listening to it, or you could just have it in a regular setting like this. I personally like the Party Time one. I think that looks really cool with the way that the colors do shift. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the driving portion. All right, so let's go ahead and put it into drive. It's very straightforward and down. You even have an S mode for the transmission to go ahead and shift the gears yourself. All right, so powering this model, 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, producing 147 horsepower and 137 pound-feet of torque. Now that's sent only primarily to the front wheels via a CVT automatic transmission. So just keep that in mind. This model only comes with a CVT transmission. They do not offer the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. Once they did the refresh, that was it. You don't have that option at all, even in the GT line version. But let's set off over here, see how it performs in normal mode, giving it some gas. honestly really good. It gets up and goes a lot better than most of the competition. Even the Honda HR-V, for example, that I had, that CVT transmission was actually really bad, and that car was just not it. And this feels a lot more peppier and a lot more faster. Wow, that feels really good in overall performance speed. I like the way that feels. I'm gonna go over here and let's see how it takes this corner over here. You know, there's something about a, you know, low horsepower small car that just puts a smile on your face, because you could just thrash it around and you can get this enjoyment that, even though higher performance vehicles are out there, doesn't give it to you. I mean, this is going to give you some kind of level of happiness when you are driving it. And even going over these roads that are a little bit more bumpy, let's see how it performs overall. Honestly, really good. I like the way the suspension feels in this model. Very, very surprised on how this feels. And as you see right there, turning in, sharp, precise turn in. Wow, very impressive, Kia, with what you have done for this model. We're gonna actually throw it over here into the back road. We're gonna see how it feels back here as well. Very impressive. It kind of takes all these bumps that we have over here, and it kind of absorbs it like very well. Wow, impressive, very impressive. And honestly, the cabin space sounds great back here. We're actually gonna put it into sport mode, and I wanna see how it feels with the sport mode, if it does change a little bit of the calibration with acceleration. You can feel the front wheels gripping and trying to spin a little bit. Wow, this feels really, really good. Honestly, I have a huge smile on my face right now, because how can such a small car like this perform so well that many other cars in a higher class cannot? Look how it goes around that curve right there. Let's see how it goes around here as well. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Awesome job, Kia. That is amazing what you have created with this car. It's so sad to see this car go, because it's one of those things where, you know, this is and was the last remaining you know, vehicle in its boxy format. I mean, the competitors were the Nissan Cube as well as the Scion XB, and both of those have been killed off or axed for so many years now that this was the sole survivor compared to those. And honestly, it's very impressive that Kia has continued to carry this vehicle on for so long, especially in 2025. You know, this is it. This is, you know, the last that we're going to see the Kia Soul. And I'm so happy that I was able to get an EX, and huge thanks to South Dade Kia for allowing me to film this vehicle once again. You know, they have just always been helping me out when it comes to like doing videos of cars. And I'm so happy that once they got this car, and Angel V, which is the salesperson there, he called me up and he was like, hey, look, we have this Kia Soul and it has the, you know, Soulmate edition package. Come by, check it out, do a review on it. And I did, and honestly, I'm quite impressed by it. Once again, it's very sad to see this car go. It's amazing. The chassis feels good. There's a little bit of body roll, but honestly, that's to be expected from, you know, the top heavy vehicle like this is. You know, it's a little bit different than what you would normally feel in a newer CUV kind of style, like a Seltos, for example. That's a very different car. It doesn't feel as top heavy as this vehicle does. So I am also noticing that this car does come with lane centering assist. So that means that you could press this button here, take your hands off the steering wheel when you have it in cruise control, and it will keep you in the lane, which I'm honestly surprised. I am so shocked by this because I guess, like, you know, I've never been in a Kia Soul to begin with. I've seen many videos of it, but I just didn't know that this is something that this car specifically had, where it just has a lane centering assist. Not even my Ford Escape comes with that. You know, crazy to think about. All right, so setting off. I want to put it into S for the transmission, and I want to put it back into Sport and see how this car performs. Yeah, I mean, it simulates the gears. It's not a conventional CVT transmission, but you know what? It does the job. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. And also, make sure to go ahead, if you guys are interested in purchasing a Kia, contact Angel V at South Dade Kia. Once again, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.